Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another action figure review, and today I'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Target exclusive, and in this case we gotta give a big OJ because this figure, for whatever reason, eluded me for the longest time. This thing either never hit my area, or if it did, very minimal quantities, and I just flat up never saw it. That said, of course, we are talking about the Spider-Man Retro Series Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. Not to be confused with Don Carnage from Tailspin, who I want to say predates this character by a couple of years, which is kind of funny. That said, this of course is brought to us by the, we'll call them fine folks over at Hasbro, because this is, well, reuse of the Absolute Carnage figure from the Venom pool Build-A-Figure wave, and that figure was one of my top legends for that year, and I think it's safe to say that this figure would have been in my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2024 video had I had him in time for that. It just, the stars didn't align, okay? That said, this review is also brought to you in part by my good buddy Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below. Head on over to his Instagram, let him know Overlord sent ya. Because we worked out a bit of a trade, because a friend of his that practically lives at freaking Target, to say the very least, was lucky enough to find this way back during Christmas time last year, and unfortunately also found the Warbird exclusive, but made the mistake of putting that one back, and when they got back around to it, it was gone, like the ghost of Christmas past. Kind of feels like Carnage is the ghost of Christmas past at this point, considering when he got him, when I got him, and the fact that that holiday is long gone. Unless you want to call us early for it this year, then by all means. But we don't do that crap here, so without further ado, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Mr. Cassidy has to offer in terms of accessories. And while he's got two that are really cool, I think we could have got a couple more, maybe. But we'll talk about that. We get the symbiote weapons with the sculpted black symbiote goop lines on them. We got the axe, which is very reminiscent of the Toy Biz figure. Same with the white teeth, but we'll talk about that in a minute here. But we got the axe. Remember in the animated series he had an axe like this too. And then we have the, I like to call it a sickle, like a scythe blade, but you could call it another axe blade, like a single-headed axe blade, or a sword, because it does have a hinge on it, so you could straighten it out. But really cool accessories. The axe actually has a hinge too. Y'all should like my Instagram post that I made of this guy with Swing of the Axe by the heavy metal band Power Trip playing over it. That is, if Instagram hasn't taken the song off due to licensing and whatever. But they've been ticking me off doing that a lot lately. But that is all you get with good old Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage here. And I have to be honest in saying that I would have rather have gotten the classic Carnage head again from that Absolute Carnage figure from way back when. And maybe gotten a Cletus Cassidy head with the symbiote taken over, you know, with the teeth wrapped around and stuff. We got a Venom head like that, or an Eddie Brock head like that, I should say, in that Amazon exclusive 3-pack with Riot and Agony. And it'd be nice if Cletus Cassidy had one to complement that. But unfortunately, all we have are the kind of Willem Dafoe-ish ones we got from both the VHS 2-pack and the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure Wave version of Carnage on the Bucky Cap body. I think the VHS 2-pack one was on the Sunfire body, which is really the Spider-Man 2099 body, the white and kind of black one. But either way, that's your lot for accessories. You get nothing else. I think these symbiote things that are on his back, take a closer look at them here, were separate in the box, but I never count these as accessories because you're supposed to put them on the figure. They're made to fit in his back, but you can take them out if you want. I'll take them out for now. Is there some schmutz on that, keeping that from going in all the way? I don't know. Either way, you got those. But here he is, stripped down, essentially. And yeah, I would have rather have gotten the head with the black teeth instead of the white, even though this is accurate to some more modern versions of Carnage, I think. And even the old Toy Biz figure that I have is the single-carded one. They did make one with the black teeth back in the day, but the original one had these whited-out teeth for some reason. Maybe it's because Carnage was relatively new and they were basing it off concept art. But at any rate, the head sculpt is still really wicked looking. I love the smile he's got going on. It's almost like a combination of a roar and a smile. And it doesn't sit too high on the neck, but you do get a decent amount of range out of it, even without using the disc hinge. So as far as articulation goes, his head will rotate. It'll look up that far. Yeah, that far. Down this far. You can almost close the mouth when you bury the chin. But the way the jaw is shaped, it's not really even. He does have a little tiny bit of pivot as far as popping the head off. Oh, geez. That's pretty stiff, isn't it? There you go. You can do it. It's not too hard. Be mindful of the jaw, though. You could pop the glue on it. I assume it's glued. Thought I almost did there. So, there you go. But if you wanted to swap the other one's head on, you could very well do so. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the colors ain't going to match. No, no, no. The reds on this guy are a bit brighter than the reds on the Absolute Carnage version, which I wish I had handy, but I don't. But there you go. As far as the shoulders go, he'll pop out that far. He does have the butterfly joint, which wasn't stuck on mine, but I did have to freeze it to really get it to move right, because you can hear this guy kind of creaking. He is gummy, but in a okay way. It's not too bad. But yeah, he definitely, I don't know, he feels kind of awesome when you pose him, because he just kind of feels alive, like that symbiote is like legit and real and whatnot. I might be over exaggerating because I'm excited to have this figure, but at any rate, his shoulder will rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep swivel, double elbow, works fine. Swivel hinge wrists, and I will say, you use the weapon hands, the wrist ports are going to get loose, especially this one on mine, so be mindful of that. As far as his ab crunch goes, pop it back this far, pop it back that far, really good crunch out of that. Waist twist is nice and tight, hips will kick out to the side. Thought he could do the splits, but I guess not. He can get a pretty high kick forward. Back, not so much because of his Carnage butt. But he does have a thigh swivel there. It's not too gummy. Double jointed knee. Works fine. Nice and tight on both sides. I will say the bottom knee is a lot tighter than the top one on both sides, at least for me. Yow. He's got a boot cut, even though he's not wearing boots. And then he's got a hinge in the foot. I'll move back, forward, and just like the Absolute Carnage figure, he's got those ankle rockers I freaking hate. They're really tight, clicky, ratchety ankle rockers, and if you guys remember my Pretty Boy review from that X-Men Villains 5-pack, he had the same thing. And the only other figure I can remember that has this type of ankle rocker is the MCU version of Death Dealer from Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, was it? I don't know why they have such a small peg with that amount of friction on it, but for whatever reason they do. And thankfully, Carnage here, because I've messed with this mold before, I've actually heated up the feet, I popped them off without snapping anything, clearly, put a little soap in there, popped them back in, and that's kind of helped ease up the friction and the tension in those joints. Along with heating. Lots and lots of heating. Now, I don't know if boiling water would work better on this, but I would recommend, if you can, heat up the feet, carefully remove them, and then pop them back on with a little bit of soap. I don't think that would hurt anything. In fact, it might make your experience messing around with this figure a little bit better than it would be if you didn't. So we'll plug his tendril back in. But other than that, man, it's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet, of course. I love this figure. This figure is sick. I can't thank my buddy Evil Villain for hooking this up enough, because this is one I really wanted and was pretty bummed that I missed, because he was never available on the Target app. And like I said, my store, I never saw this guy. I never saw Warbird. Like most Target exclusives outside of Masters of the Universe, I don't see. And that's weird, because before, the Hasbro stuff used to be easy to get. The Mattel stuff was hard to get. Now it's like reversed, so I don't know what's up with that. Although if you live in Canada, you lucky buggers, you can just walk into your Toys R Us and probably find an aisle full of this guy and Warbird there. So lucky you. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, alongside, well, not for nothing, but my favorite body bucks for both Peter Parker, the Spider-Man, and Eddie Brock, aka Venom. And as you can see, we're rocking the Secret Wars black costume Spider-Man because, well, the contrast of the black suit against my light gray background probably helps you see just how tall he is compared to Carnage here. But also, this is on the Amazing Fantasy 60th Anniversary body buck, which in my opinion is the best Spider-Man body buck until we take a look at that Maximum Series one that is. And Venom, of course, is the Walmart exclusive Spider-Man Retro Series from the Marvel's 85th Anniversary program, I believe. And he, of course, uses the Omega Red arms and legs with those stupid webs on the forearms from the animated one. I say that because that was an animated thing exclusively. I don't know why they keep using that. Tiny Mac never drew him like that. Never! But he also has the upgraded torso with not only butterfly joints, but also the diaphragm joint with the inverted ab crunch, much like the Secret Wars black costume Spider-Man there, which I guess is the only other thing Carnage is missing at this point, other than some other hand and head options, right? So there you go. Venom's bigger. Spider-Man is close to the same size, but you know, if he's a grown adult, they're close to the same size, so I guess I'll let it slide. It's not nearly as drastic of a size difference as the Agent Venom from the Spider-Man retro card, if you even want to call that one a retro card. Said it's bringing our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith, right there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. Because not only is Carnage a bit on a small side for Legends, but Spawn, aka Al Simmons here, is not a 6-inch figure. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that I thoroughly enjoy good old Cletus Cassidy here, so much so that he would have knocked the Scarlet Spider off my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2024 list, I have to be honest in the fact that I'm going to have to stand by my previous statement in saying that the fine folks over at Hasbro should have maybe scrapped the new Carnage head and included the classic Carnage head from the Absolute Carnage figure from the Venom Pool Build-A-Figure wave, and given us a new Cletus Cassidy head with the symbiote consuming, well, his head. Much like they did with the Venom in the Amazon exclusive 3-pack with Riot and Agony, I think that would have been a nice head sculpt to complement the one from that very same 3-pack, because we don't have that for good old Cletus Cassidy here, and I think at this point that's really the only thing missing, other than maybe the symbiote spear and some other tendril options. But I'm not gonna complain. I like this figure a lot, at least until you get to the ankle rocker. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.